Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to SeahawkTalk here on the Salve Athletics Network. I am your host, Andrew Pizzelli, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. We are live every single day at 3 to 4 p.m. Can't wait to get today's show going. We have special guests Emily Miller, Rebecca Ramirez McKinley, Janelle Iaquinto, Bill Villarreal, and Matt Hurd. Can't wait to talk to them and to our producers. But first, like always, we want to remind you to keep your distance. That is Ed Habershaw with his rendition of Keep Your Distance by The Shake, a Rhode Island-based band with a message that we can apply worldwide. Hand washing, mask wearing, social distancing. We've droned on and on and on about all of it, but we're going to continue to do so here on the Seahawk Talk program because everybody can do those simple and easy things. Want to bring in the producers now. Mike DeFusco, I think. No Joey Morelli yet. He is efforting his way across time and space to join us here on Seahawk Talk. But Mike, happy to have you.
Yes, no, I'd love to be here. Joey will be here. Don't know when, don't know where he's traveling to and from, but I am confident that he will get back here and have an interesting story for us too, as he always does. It'll be worth the wait.
All right, what do you have here to lead off today's program?
It's a pretty interesting story. Just came up today that URI is going to replace number 2 ranked Baylor at Connecticut's basketball tournament and will play number 18 Arizona State. A great opportunity if they're, thinking optimistically, will be some sort of tournament later on in the college basketball season, that these two games could be huge for them, playing two top ranked teams. So they're replacing Baylor, and they could have the opportunity also to play Villanova, who is ranked number 3. So this could be huge for them again if willing that we'll have a season. But the Connecticut tournament, I think this is a pretty cool idea because this is something we could see just more of, is these small little bubble style tournaments where you just have, 4 teams from a relatively close proximity show up and play. So I thought that was pretty cool. Get to bring up, they'll be playing Wednesday, by the way. And if they win, Thursday, they'll be playing the winner of the other game, which is Villanova at Boston College.
Now, where are these games being played?
These games are being played, I think I think it was, like you said, Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. So those games, I think they will be quarantining in hotels surrounding around there, and then they'll be driving the game together. Baylor, it wasn't even their players that actually tested positive. It was I believe their coach had tested positive, and then they had decided, they had gotten pressure from other teams to drop out. They were still considering just saying the players with an assistant coach, but decided that it'd probably just be safer to have a replacement. And then that's where URI comes to the rescue. It's only probably about a 2-hour drive from Narragansett
to Mohegan.
To Mohegan, you would know better than I would. I
think it's less than that. Yanni Karakis from WPRI actually just tweeted, URI basketball is proving it pays off to be at a nearby casino already and available. Facts of life. So yeah, it helps to be in the neighborhood where this tournament's happening. Good for URI. I know they've been trying to figure out a way to get their season going. It's tough, and we've talked to a lot of administrators with Jody and Greg K have said this. The D1s are the ones who are soldiering on here, and in a way, it can only benefit us because they're the ones who are going to make all the mistakes. They're going to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Hopefully, it works. This will be the first kind of true test of teams playing an indoor sport. Having travel and coming from to and from places. So if it works, then that's only going to be good news for places like Salve, who are already postponed until sometime late January, early February. But more time for the D1s to succeed.
Right.
It's the optimistic way to look at it.
Yeah. More time for them to succeed or fail, and then we can just learn from their mistakes, which is, I mean, You always knew they were going to go ahead and play the season, so we'll just hope that they can do it safe. I mean, we're almost through college football now, which is pretty incredible if you ask me, to see and how some universities have had to shut down. It's impressive to be able to get through this much. So, I mean, college basketball, personally, my favorite college sport to watch, even though I played baseball. So, I mean, I'm really hoping to see some kind of tournaments come up. It's the most entertaining in my opinion.
Baseball player admitting that even he doesn't want to watch baseball.
No, not all the time. Not you really do have to like have a play the game or have like a good amount of experience to understand some of like
Or you need like a
it's a slow.
really really great like play-by-play guy to make the
Yeah,
broadcast worth
for
watching.
sure. Those guys are rare now. It's a slow pace. It's a naturally slow paced game. So you really got to know what you're looking for if you're going to lock in. Even, yeah, I find it hard to watch a complete 3.5 hour, 4 hour if you're the Red Sox sometime game. So
5.5 days
yeah.
if it's Red Sox Yankees.
Oh my God.
I wanted to bring up this little story. We've talked about how Thanksgiving's going to be different, hopefully, for most people. I think pretty much everywhere is giving the same advice. Please don't travel. Stay home. Stay within your little social bubble. If you live with 5 people, that's the 5 people you're spending Thanksgiving with. Don't go, as tempted as you might be. Don't go and gather inside in large groups. And hopefully maybe we get a vaccine. We can see everybody at Christmas or New Year's. But the virtual thing again, kind of the way everybody had to do Easter. And this is a list of ways to celebrate Thanksgiving virtually with your family. And in case you missed it, Zoom is lifting their 40-minute time limit for the free subscribers on Thanksgiving. And so this website kind of listed out some Zoom ideas for gathering virtually on Thanksgiving. One is to have someone host a cooking Zoom meeting. Maybe one traditional family dish, and everyone that can't gather can prepare that dish simultaneously. Could be a good way to pass those recipes on to the next generation. The second one is story time. Have every household tell a story about a prior Thanksgiving or other fun family stories everyone could enjoy. It would be great to hear stories about the parents, grandparents, etc. You can even designate someone to take notes and pull it all together in a book or video at a later date to pass on.
Yeah, who's going to be the note
Pictionary,
taker?
yeah, Pictionary or charades through Zoom. Give it a try. A virtual lip sync battle. It may be a little late to prepare for Thanksgiving, but there's time for Christmas.
Now we're on to something here. Virtual
Yeah,
karaoke.
yeah. A TikTok challenge could be fun too, and the younger generation can take the lead and share their TikTok wisdom with their elders. And then lastly is to have a scavenger hunt. Those are just a few ideas for how you can get creative and spend time with family virtually and safely as we try to get those COVID-19 numbers back down. Be safe and innovative, and you may find strength, wisdom, and joy through these challenging times. So I think those are pretty cool. I mean, it's like with all this, there's ways to get it all done. Back in the summer, even when numbers were leveling off and good, and hey, we could meet in groups of 20, 30, whatever. We found a way still, you know what, let's still gather, but we want to watch movies, Celtics games, Patriots games. Get a projector. Like you can still do a lot of things if you are, want to find the safe ways to still do those things. It's not
Yeah,
all or nothing. You can
right.
certainly figure out ways to not get around restrictions, but to work within the restrictions.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing, is just find that nice middle ground. We can't have the competition of Thanksgiving football games, but I think that's why I like that scavenger hunt idea, because that sounds actually like a lot of fun to me. Maybe I'll suggest that one to my family. But yeah, that's the thing. It's just you get caught up in the extremes. You just got to find a way to make the best of it and stay level headed.
You don't think your family's going to be up for some TikTok challenges?
Oh, maybe my sister. We really are. We don't have a lot of young kids anymore like that. Most of them like my age, like a little bit above. So, and I'm not a big
Oh, you're
TikToker.
too old. You're too old
I'm
for
too.
TikTok.
I'm too sophisticated
What is
for
the
things like
median
that.
age of a TikTok user? 11.
Oh, I think it could range anywhere from I've seen probably 5 to like 30 at this point. I've seen anyone and everyone, and in different styles and different mediums. You can do anything on there. Cooking. It's like that's the thing. Like people think it's only dancing. There's a lot of different styles of TikToks that
It's
Even I
the
didn't know
internet.
about.
There's a
Yeah,
mishmash of everything.
yeah. So
This is where
don't
we need Joey.
don't
This is where we
generalize TikTok. We really do need Joey for this
This
right now.
Joey would be the one who would, Detective Morelli would get in and get us the stats on these things.
Right.
So if he's listening across time and space right now while he's efforting to get to the computer, Joey, we need you to look up the median age of a TikTok user. So
Yes,
get on
I'll get
that.
on that, and I might throw a banner in once we get later on the show.
Awesome. Breaking
Yes.
news. We will have found the answers. All right. Mike, great to see you. I'm going to let you get to work on that and helping to produce the show behind the scenes, and we'll get along to our first guest.
All right.
All right, that's Mike DeFusco, one of the producers here on Seahawk Talk. We're going to go now to our first guests here today, some members of our athletic training staff. We have Emily Miller, Rebecca Ramirez McKinley, and trying to join us, I think remotely, no picture, but just audio, is Dave Cox in the stream. How are you guys all doing?
Pretty well.
Hanging in there.
I'm not sure. Dave, if you are on the other end, can you hear us? I don't think so. So it sounds like either Dave's multitasking. So we'll let him if his connection's weak, we won't distract him further. I wanted to ask you guys. Everybody's talked about the restrictions for our athletic teams and can you practice? Can you not practice? Potting, all these sorts of things. For you guys, in a sense, the show still goes on. You guys still have to give these kids treatment. You have to be there whenever they're doing things. You have to be there after practice, before practice. I think it kind of goes unsaid and is unheralded how much almost more work you guys have had to do to still do your jobs effectively around all the restrictions. Talk about what that's been like, just that whole process, and maybe what people maybe don't know about the life of an athletic trainer right now during a pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the show goes on for us. It's there's obviously been some changes with the athletic training room and practices and who's at practice, who's not at practice, but I think the hardest thing for us has been that we haven't been seeing everybody as much as we normally do because we have a lot of practices going on all at the same time with trying to get everybody in field space. But, it's been nice to be able to still have practices and still be able to do stuff, even though it's more restricted.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I guess one positive is it's nice that we're, because we're doing, individual appointments. So it's a lot easier to give one-on-one attention when somebody comes into the athletic training room, which is a huge positive. But other than that, it is, I mean, it's kind of funny because you feel a little bit like you're just following somebody around and wiping up and cleaning up everything after them. So, that's obviously a little added step to everything is making sure we wipe down absolutely everything after a person's been through. And then, so it seems like it should maybe be a little bit less, but it's still, I mean, just as much, if not more work than it has been now.
Yeah. One of the things a lot of people talked about and were concerned about was a return to athletics at any level, didn't matter, high school, college, pro, after a prolonged kind of off period between the spring and quarantine and even the summer, you're not gathering and training like normal, and about how that could lead to injuries. And I know a lot of people try to slowly, work their way up and get into the process, but did you guys see any of that? And how did you guys maybe work to try and mitigate the seriousness of what could have been if you didn't properly, ramp up to competition, whether it's practice or otherwise?
I would say we definitely did see some of that. Still seeing some of that, as people try to continue doing stuff on their own or whatever it is. Fortunately, most of that stuff is kind of, benign stuff that you can kind of, don't have to worry too much about. Or the other thing is we're not worrying about preparing for games or competition right now. So it's a lot easier to just be like, you know what, let's shut you down for a little bit, get you back to where you need to be. and then put them back out there. And so, I mean, I think that's probably our biggest advantage, the easiest way for us to not allow it to become a big, scary issue is, again, much easier to just shut it down and say, all right, we're not ready yet. We need to get back to our strength before we really start pushing some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's a great point. Rebecca, do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that we were able to kind of treat this fall as non-traditional versus a competition season, just because we had time to do conditioning and ramp up and everything. So a lot of the stuff that we would see early on with like those full go fall preseasons, we didn't see as much of. But it's going to be the kind of the same thing when we get back for the spring semester, is that ramp up and getting ready for competition and everything. But it was nice to have some time to be able to fix problems and work through them a little bit more than we normally get.
Yeah, I was going to ask, that was going to be my next question, was all the same concerns will exist now if there's a layoff period and then we get into the spring. Now there is the pressure of we're trying to prepare for games. On top of that, maybe there's games being crammed into a shorter period of time. All those same concerns apply, right?
Absolutely.
Now, so is it just trying to cobble it together and duct as much duct tape as you can and get a team through in that situation? There's really nothing you can do. It's just about, the war of attrition.
Sometimes, but if our student athletes do work with strength and conditioning and are able to do some stuff at home, that definitely helps the situation a lot better. Also, kind of the stuff that it is done off the field will help a lot. So it's just making sure that everybody kind of knows what's going on and what the week looks like, and planning and communicating. It's no different as if we were going into the end of the season where we're cramming in games because the weather's been bad and championships are right around the corner. It's just a little different time of year
Yeah.
from what we're used to.
I think too, just that it's, we're kind of cramming it all in together, but it's still, a very shortened season. So it's not like they're trying to cram in these games last minute and it's just stacking up on top of everything that's built up from the season already.
Yeah.
A
lot of coaches have talked about resources, whether that's friends, other, people that they have contact with, Instagram, the internet, as a resource for finding innovative ways to practice and do things with their teams. Have you guys had any interesting resources like that? Or is it basically, we go by, we're just following medicine here, and whatever the experts tell us, we have to go with that? Or have there been any kind of, athletic training friend resources, Instagram groups, anything like that, that you guys have found useful?
We do have our professional organization that puts out a lot of stuff. So the National Athletic Trainers Association has been putting out a lot of stuff. Some of the more state and regional organizations have been putting out stuff, but a lot of it is just kind of following what's going on right now. Are gyms open? Are they not open? What's available to us? What's not available to us? So we've had to get real creative this year, but that's part of our job. So, we all have athletic training friends that we talk to that are in different areas. So there's been a lot of brainstorming, and some cool things have come out of this as far as creativity and exercises and rehab programs and sending stuff home and that type of stuff.
Emily, do you have anything to add on top?
Not really.
No, perfect.
No.
I want to just get your guys' thoughts, because I know I'm thinking about this. The potential, spring comes, there could be 20 teams all working and doing things at once. Do we stay up at night thinking about that, or are we just in complete denial that that's going to be a situation? We'll just close our eyes and get through it.
Well, we plan for the worst and hope for the best. So we're going to plan that, everyone's going to get their seasons in whatever order they're going to get in them. And then we, kind of expect for things to not go according to plan. So I don't know if a lot of people know about athletic training, but we usually end up on plan Z by 9 a.m. So, we'll see what happens. Right now we're planning on everybody going when they're supposed to be. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, just don't think about it for now.
All right, we won't dwell on it any longer. Lastly, I mentioned at the top I was talking with Mike about the virtual Thanksgiving thing. It's kind of we're in the same boat we are now that we were kind of around Easter and everyone was doing the same stuff. For you guys, what are your Thanksgiving plans? How do you plan on enjoying the day as best you can?
Lots of food and lots of sports, like normal. So just hanging out at home.
Kind of normal in that, I have some family that lives spread out across the country. So we usually do some sort of video chat with them on Thanksgiving anyways. So going to be doing that, but it'll also be a video chat with, my parents and my brother since they're all up in Mass. And so it'll be a lot of video chats.
Yeah. Well, both of you, thank you so much for taking the time to join me on the program here today. I know you guys have been hard at work, and you're going to continue to be hard at work. So thank you for that. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we're seeing all of each other in a rink, at an arena, at a field, or something sometime soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Bye-bye now. That's Emily Miller and Rebecca Ramirez McKinley from our athletic training room. We're going to go next to the head coach of our softball team, Janelle Iaquinto. Janelle, how are we doing?
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Good. I wanted to get from you first, kind of give me the wrap up here. I mean, everything basically, whether you guys were going to be done by now, regardless of what was happening with COVID. How do you assess, how do you kind of put a bow on what you were able to do and what the team was able to do this fall?
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was a nice big holiday bow we could put on this semester, but I'm really happy overall. It's been a challenge for the players, for the students, for us as coaches to get creative and come up with some new ways of doing things while continuing to try to build on some progress and train. But the focus has just been on the team and what we're able to do and celebrating our small victories and getting together as much as possible and just getting through the semester. And we're almost there. The training side of things is we're done right now for our fall season, but the academic side is picking up for the kids and for the team right now. So they're most of them are home with their families and transitioning to remote learning and preparing for finals and looking forward to the holiday break right now, just to reset and focus on hopefully what will be a healthy and competitive spring season.
Yeah. All the teams had their Seahawks Take Flight campaigns start. Each team got a little personalized video you guys got to work on to do fundraising. Talk about that process, working to get that video done, and what, if anybody is deciding to be generous and wants to donate to Salve Softball, what they know that their donation will be going towards.
Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. That's awesome. I actually worked with the admissions department and the fundraising department. And we videotaped the segment behind the admissions building. And the kids, I said I would take this one for them. But right now, we're just fundraising for really just opportunity to stay safe and to get back on the field this spring. So COVID testing and the NCAA regulations and Salve's, protocol for how teams are going to be able to train this spring is a little bit of a moving target, but we're hearing significant amount of testing and that does come with significant costs. So, we're asking people to help support in any way that we may need to compete and not lose a second season. And also, we'd like to continue to enhance Topa Field a little bit and get some branding in there and make the stadium feel, more homey and just kind of make things cool and make things enjoyable for the kids. And so that's kind of the focus is get us back on the field, and that's testing right now. And we're just taking things day by day and preparing for whatever unforeseen circumstances may come in the next 6 to 8 months as we battle COVID and get back to playing.
Yeah. You kind of brought it up there. I wanted to ask you, I know you're a connected person. You have friends across the softball world.
Yeah.
How much have you been leaning on that network? And also, focusing with D1 stuff is moving
Mhm.
ahead of
Mhm.
D3. They're prepping and moving faster than we are, and how much you're kind of watching and listening and looking at that to say, okay, if this is happening there and it works, we could see a trickle down and trying to prepare.
Sure.
as such.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in the power of networking and staying connected, and just relying on the coaches and people in your network that you have good relationships with. And we're always bouncing ideas off of each other under normal circumstances. And right now, where we've all transitioned to a more virtual, normal everyday, and how we keep our athletes connected, and also how we continue with training. There's believe I saw the dead period was extended for Division 1 and Division 2 recently, so that's going to be a big challenge for those schools and moving forward. And yeah, I mean, we tend to watch like some of the other conferences, and when we see that the NESCAC schools making decisions, or the Ivies, or the Division 1 Division 2s, we kind of start to prepare. But I believe regardless of division, we're all in this mindset of, okay, we have to get through the holiday season and look towards second semester, and what strides we're able to make in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and where we are with vaccines and protocol, and just developing new standards. And the concern is certainly travel at this point for everybody, and how that's going to shake out with being competitive in your seasons. I think all eyes are on the big time football programs right now, and watching what some basketball teams are going to be doing, and how that moves forward. But luckily for us, we're that outdoor sport, and I know that's playing a huge factor. I just read an article that they were looking to hold wrestling outdoors at the NCAA level, because having it indoors is the biggest issue that they're having right now. So for us, we are outside, and it's a blessing and a curse, as with Mother Nature, but we're really holding on to the hopes that we're going to be able to get that season in this year.
I can't imagine outdoor wrestling in New England.
I know.
Oh boy, talk about an added
I know,
element.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I read that, and like high schools are trying to push for the same things as they make some amendments to their sport. And you're seeing that at the NCAA, at the high school level. The MIA from in Massachusetts just released some new parameters for basketball with not having tip-offs, and how they're going to inbound in certain aspects for how they can accommodate their sports for COVID and getting kids to continue. So how that translates even to the NCAA and what decisions are going to be made. Baseball and softball did get to play a lot over the summer.
Yeah.
So all of the recruits that we have coming in, they've almost been on a normal schedule where they've been playing, more so than we have. But yeah, it's definitely an influence all around for athletics. And I think we're all just really keeping our fingers crossed and praying that we can stay safe, and we have jobs, and we can continue to give these kids a great experience, and not have them miss another season. That would just be detrimental.
Yeah. This is kind of a fun question, but one I think you might have an opinion on. When is it acceptable to start playing and or listening to Christmas music? After Halloween? After Thanksgiving? Everybody draws these lines. I've seen houses, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and I see Christmas decorations and Christmas music being played. Personally, I think after Thanksgiving is when you kind of can start ramping into that. I want to get, this is a very important question, so I want to get your thoughts
Okay.
on this.
So I personally like to enjoy each holiday. So I don't like to jump the gun a little bit. It's hard. Here's the thing. This is my opinion on this one, Andrew. When Thanksgiving is really late, I feel like that's when people start jumping the gun with Christmas. So it's like almost December, and the Christmas tree is too much. I was in the store the other day, and I heard Christmas music. Like I think it hit me for the first time, and I went, "This is just not right. It's like 2 weeks before Christmas. Why are we playing Christmas music? Or Thanksgiving? Why are we playing Christmas music? It's too much for me." Like, get through Halloween, then transition to Thanksgiving, and then get the Christmas going. I don't know. People are looking for things to do, and
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
This year especially. I know. Well, it's one thing for people to want to do it. I mean, maybe it's because they know. The stores have been preparing. I went to go buy some last minute Halloween decorations like a week before Halloween. And like all the stores, I went to Michael's Christmas tree shop, Bed Bath Beyond, all these places that normally would, Job Lot, Target, that are just like chock full. The Halloween stuff was falling out of the store a week ago. All gone.
Yeah.
All Christmas trees, elves,
Mhm.
candy canes, Santa Claus hats. I'm like, what? It's not even Halloween yet. It's not even
It's too
November.
much. I'm not ready. I'm with you. I'm not ready. I want to. Thanksgiving is usually one of my favorite holidays, and comes at such a good time in higher education for us, where we can wind down a little bit from the crazy and just take some time to enjoy our families and relax.
Eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, totally. You know what I mean? And it's not freezing normal,
Yeah.
like hopefully. It's nice right now. Today it's been beautiful, so you can still get outside and do things with your family. So I'm all for Thanksgiving and not rushing that.
Yeah. So how are you planning to enjoy Thanksgiving this year? It's going to be different for everybody. What are your Thanksgiving plans?
It's going to be a little bit different. For my family is all over the country in Florida, North Carolina, Minnesota, so Massachusetts. We aren't going to be able to get together in the traditional sense and the ways that we look forward to. So we're going to be doing, some virtual things, but I am staying in Rhode Island, and we have a few players that are also going to be on campus and spending Thanksgiving and have elected to continue the semester here. So I will be cooking. It's that Italian side of me. I'm gonna make some care packages and make sure that they have Thanksgiving meal and some dessert and just some things that can make them feel like they have a little bit of home, even though they're not able to get with their Thanksgiving. So that's the plan. And just eat, drink, be merry. And I have some close friends in the area that have been in my pod or in my network, and hopefully we'll get together with them at some point in time. And just a week to relax. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward. I've gotten a few requests for things on the Thanksgiving menu, of course. So I will be putting those Italian traditions to good use, and hopefully the players will enjoy that this week.
Awesome. Well, Janelle, hope you have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Thank you for taking the time today, and we'll catch up with you again next
You
week.
too, Andrew. Enjoy the time with your family. Stay safe.
Thank you. That's Janelle Iaquino, the head coach of our softball team. We're going to go next to the head coach of our women's lacrosse team and an assistant athletic director here at Salve Regina, Coach Bill Villarreal. Bill, how you doing?
Good, Andrew. How are you?
Good. I want to ask you, usually you give really good perspective on these things. So I'm just going to ask you the simple question. What is Bill Villarreal thankful for this year?
Really? I'm thankful for my personal health, that's for sure. You go through a lot of troubles and things. So I had great support, and now I'm healthier as ever, and I'm feeling really good. So I feel, thankful for that. I feel thankful for having a healthy family. We're all still pretty much, hanging together as much as we can. My older ones are, safe down in their own hometowns of Texas and North Carolina, but they're staying where they are for right now. And then hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to get together. And then the last thing is just, being thankful for being part of this community and having a great team to work with. And it's a lot of fun. It's good.
Yeah. You've talked about this team and its commitment to coming in every day and attacking each day and working and just focusing on the here and now. No matter what happens this spring, are you already incredibly proud of this team?
I am. It's interesting. Everybody takes challenges a different way, but I'm just proud the way they hung together. They believed in the concept of preparing for the spring. I know, we face our own challenges with the COVID pandemic, but we work ourselves around it or with it and hopefully get stronger for it.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned you've been getting out more, trying to explore. You've been doing some hiking around like the Portsmouth area. Talk about that. Where have you found any little hidden spots? You don't have to give them away, but have you enjoyed them?
No, every time you go, I typically go behind the Glen area. It's a lot of woods, a lot of farm areas back there. Every time I go, there's more different areas that I haven't seen before. And it's just interesting. I mean, it's deep woods. It feels good. We go for about 8 miles or so. Nice. with some friends. I think 8 miles is probably the limit so that my body can recover a little bit. My future son-in-law is a Marine, so he's coming hopefully in December. And then, friends of mine, their sons are Marines, so us fathers are trying to get ourselves in shape.
If you want any recommendations for places, all I've been doing since April, saying what's the most socially distant thing I can do? Hey, go walk in the woods.
That's
so
right.
I found all the little nooks and crannies along in Rhode Island. If you want any recommendations,
there are a lot of different areas around here, and it's beautiful here, especially in this time of year. It's absolutely gorgeous out there.
Yeah, your team, along with all the other teams, have been part of the Seahawks Take Flight campaign,
Right.
major fundraising thing.
Right.
Talk about what it was like to work with the team to get that video made. Everybody kind of had fun with it, and then if anybody wants to give to your program, what it'll
yeah, no, it actually went very well. Worked really well with the fundraising committee and Andrew. He put on a great opportunity for us to present our case, and it gives a chance for the girls to get in front of the camera and get that experience as well. We're doing a lot of things trying to get through the pandemic and the issues gearing with our field preps and equipment, training equipment, that sort of thing, so that we can better prepare ourselves for the spring.
Yeah. I know you've talked before about, you like to cook.
Oh, yeah.
You enjoy Thanksgiving. What are the plans this year? Is Coach Villarreal chefing anything up for the family?
Of course I am. Of course. But before we do that, we're going on a big family hike, as a matter of fact. So we're all going to go enjoy
take a nice calorie deficit to then fill.
Well, we got to work towards that, because we know in the end we're going to be having some food. So then we'll do some cooking, but we also have some projects that we want to get done around the house. And when the kids come home, which only a couple of them are here now, but it is extra hands. So I'm going to take advantage of that opportunity and put them to work as well.
Yeah. You mentioned the kids. I wanted to ask, I was just thinking about this,
Mm-hmm.
Maddie Villarreal, your daughter, graduates in the spring.
Right.
She's studying nursing. I mean, she's going right into the front lines. How has she been? And maybe talk about what she's doing right now.
I'm really proud of her. She's through all of this this pandemic. She's really, she came out of school. She studied really hard to get through the NCLEX, passed the NCLEX, and was fine. Landed a job right away. She's working in a hospital on the med-surg floor right now. But she's learning a lot. Every day is different. Every day, she's learning, and she enjoys what she's doing, taking care of people, and she loves that profession, really does. And she always says how well, Salve has prepared her for that. And we're just really proud of her. Every time, she lives at home to help, and we're hey, we'll help support. But she's doing really well. She just bought herself a new car. She's working hard, and she's really learning more so that she can really chase other dreams within the medical community. So I'm really happy for her and excited to see her when she gets gets ready for work. She's in her uniform, ready to go.
Yeah. When she does land that big job, she's going to kick a little back so that you can get the new car too, right?
We'll see. As long as she takes care of me in the end, I'm okay.
All right. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Glad you're doing well. Glad your family's
Thanks.
happy and safe. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks. You too, Andrew. You too. Week. All right. And one day we'll go hiking again.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Take care.
That's
right,
Bill
bye.
Villarreal, the head coach of our women's lacrosse team and a assistant athletic director here at Sal Virginia. We're going to go lastly now to the head coach of our women's track and field team to round out the day, Matt Hurd, joining us here on Seahawk Talk. Matt, how are we doing?
Andrew, we're hunkered down and making the best of it.
I wanted to ask you, we had planned to hopefully have your captains on, but obviously everybody's going here and there and everywhere. So I guess I'll ask you about your captains and what they mean to the team and who they are as people and what you expect out of them as such being captains.
Well, for one thing, the first thing that you should know is that while I have a vote, and I would say it's the most important vote, I don't actually pick them. I let their teammates choose who they want to be captains. And there are times when I say, that's an interesting choice. I wouldn't have chosen that person, only to find out that they know more about their teammate than I do. And their teammate turns out to be a terrific person, a really good captain. So the fact that these three young women have been chosen by their teammates means basically, I think, a lot more than if I had selected them. And, the three of them, they are great choices. They really are. Kat Bruce was also chosen by her teammates to be a captain on the cross country team. And I got to tell you, I didn't know much about Kat. She's as a sophomore, I think she was training to be a marathoner, which, when you're a sophomore in high school, I'm wondering, you got the whole rest of your life to do that. But, and then of course we had nothing last spring, so I didn't get to see much of her then. But her teammates chose her. And I have to tell you, she is, I like her anyway. Because I've seen her run a couple of times and in cross-country meets. She's got a great personality and full of fun. Her eyes are always wide open, full of excitement and enthusiasm. And I've really been impressed because she is always up front. She's ready to do things, except when she has class and can't come to do SeahawkTalk. She couldn't even go remote, and then do it in her spare time. But she, as I say, she's ready to go. We talk about this, and okay, she's the first one to answer an email, and she's just always got her motor running. And I just hope that we can, get into situations like track and field meets where, she can really let those qualities come to the fore.
What about any thoughts on your others? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then of course, Maggie, I know Maggie since she was a freshman, recruited her very hard. She is tall, full of life, always exciting, always laughing, just a great joy to be around. But I tell you, when the whistle blows or the coach says go, geez Louise, she is just heel to the steel. There's no way that, you'd say, just take it easy, Maggie. We got a whole workout. He goes, okay, coach. And then she just barrels out like you wouldn't believe. She's only got one speed, and that is foot to the floorboards. And the interesting thing about Maggie is she's got to have a body temperature, an average body temperature of about 82, because she will go out in like 30-degree weather in a t-shirt and shorts.
Yep.
She's amazing. In fact, our first meet just about 3 years ago was in Manchester, New Hampshire. There's snow drifts all around, and they stopped the meet for half an hour because they had gotten ahead of schedule. And Maggie was just about ready to get on the track as a freshman for her 800 meters. And, they said half an hour wait. And I look around, she's still in her uniform top and her spandex. I'm saying, Maggie, what are you doing? You got to keep going. You got to keep warming up. It's okay, coach. And then she does, she's the same thing 5 minutes later. It's amazing. She's got one heck of a furnace, I'll tell you. But as I said many times, I just hope that we get a season in this spring so she can really show people what she's about. And then Jill LeBeau. Jill is also, it's amazing. All of these three of these also run cross country. Kat is a real cross country runner. Maggie runs cross country either as self-inflicted penance for some sin she committed long ago. And then Jill just runs it to do something, to be active. She's a thrower. And, just the greatest person. a good thrower. She's in the high 90s and as coachable as you can ever get. Always concerned about her teammates. Always making sure that they're focused. And first person to get to them if they have a bad throw and they're not feeling too great about themselves. So all in all, we've got 3 really terrific people. And as I say all the time, I just hope we get to see them compete and perform.
Yeah. You talked about too, it's interesting with the running sports, you're not competing against each other for playing time or those sorts of things. That sort of dynamic doesn't exist. And it's not like you're working. I mean, I guess there are instances where you could be working together, relay, that sort of thing. You need chemistry. But a lot of the chemistry on the teams is built off and away from competition. How have you guys been able to build that dynamic, the teamwork and all that sort of stuff amidst a pandemic when it's not like you can get together and have big pasta dinners?
Yes, you're right. It is hard. It's actually very hard. Very hard. I mean, even to the point of practice. I mean, we started practice a couple of weeks ago, and the freshmen were there and the upperclassmen were there, and they were really sort of getting to see each other for the first time. And then 3 days later, we got the email saying that practice was suspended until January. So, and they had started already. I mean, when I got to practice, I started introducing people and said, "Oh, don't worry, Matt, we got this. We're all done with that," and they're working away and in the intervals between their runs, they're chatting away. And so, I mean, it doesn't take much to get these people integrating with their teammates, bringing their teammates in, because as you say, they're not competing for playing time. So it's not like, well, I can't really talk to that person because she might, do something. They all are really pulling for each other to do as well as they can. But then, of course, after 3 days, we're done with that. And then, of course, they only see each other with masks on, which is a little difficult. And I got to say, Andrew, that your boss, Ed Habershaw, did us a great service by ramming through all of those headshots. Because even I, when I go on the website,
you know what they look like now.
I do. I absolutely do. Oh wow, she's amazing. I like because otherwise I wouldn't know. I told you I went to see one of them competing up at Reggie Lewis in Boston, and she had braids, and then she comes into my office with a ponytail, and I had, who the heck is this kid? I had no idea. And then another one I told you before came in. We saw her actually without a mask. She's up from New Jersey in the fall, and we talked a bit and everything else. And then she came in with a mask on, clueless. We talked for half an hour. It took me that long to figure out what sport she was doing. And once she said she was from New Jersey, then I remember. Oh yes, okay, I remember her. So
connecting the dots.
Yes, it's
like any other time when somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Oh, Matt Hurd, how you doing?" You're like, "I have no idea who this is." I'm gonna say, "Hey, you, how's it going?" And I'm just gonna ask questions, try and discern some clues from this person, and maybe I'll figure out who this is.
Absolutely, and that happens even more. It used to happen more because I taught for almost 30 years. So yeah. I'd see a former nuts. Who is this? But if I had enough time, without seizing up mentally, I could come up with her name. But when they come around the corner and say, "Oh, Mr. Hurd," sugar. Who the heck is this? Yeah, so that's hard. It's really hard to get to know people if you can't really see them.
Yeah, that happened to me, not this past summer because I didn't go to the beach a ton. I wasn't trying to be in crowds, but 2 years ago, I would walk from my apartment to the beach, and my girlfriend's walking with me, and pretty much every other person is stopping and saying, "Oh, hey, Andrew," and it's like, "You know that person?" I was like, "I don't know. They probably, maybe they were somebody," because I worked around town throughout college, so I was like, it's probably a parent of some kid who I supervised or something. I don't know. They know me, so I'm not gonna make a big deal of it.
It was because they saw you on SeahawkTalk.
Oh, true.
Let's face it.
Absolutely, yes. This is where the discovery happens.
Matt, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So you got a close up of you and the so there you always got a jersey hanging back there. And I know that it rotates. Does that mean that somebody is in favor or out of favor, or how do you choose who's back there?
So there's more than just here. We'll go back. We'll go on a little solo for me for a second. There's more than just the jersey. The books change as well. The eagle-eyed will notice that the background changes as well. It's a bit of an I Spy of a background. I try to have some fun, and I try to theme it up sometimes. Now, with a lot of Boston Celtics stuff, NBA stuff happening the last 10 days, I decided to hang the Paul Pierce jersey up there. It had been Matt Castle for a while. I've had my high school coach, North Kingstown athletic director Dick Fossa, passed away over the summer or back in the spring. Can't remember specifically. I think it was maybe May. I had my old Mariner football jersey up there for a while in his honor. So it does rotate. There's usually at least a reason behind it. It is not random. It's not random. I'll say that.
That was the Mariners football jersey that escaped the clutches of your equipment manager.
No, we got to keep these. So we fundraised. We sold the gold cards to get these jerseys special for our senior class. Everybody got them. Seniors got to keep them that year. So that there's a couple of other jerseys that haven't been pulled out of the woodwork yet that I'm waiting to debut. Depends on how long we have to go with Seahawk Talk. Hopefully no longer than January 19th. Hopefully January 19th I am on the Salve Airwaves calling action. I wanted to bring up, Matt, you wrote in your pre-show questionnaire, Matt Hurd, still a Pisces. And so I felt like I would go and give you your Pisces horoscope today. Since you keep bringing up this Pisces thing, I'm realizing that maybe you're just trying to subtly hint that astrology is really important to you. So I'm going to read your November 24th, 2020 horoscope. In all your activities today, your enthusiasm will bubble up from deep inside you without any effort at all. This easy, positive energy is contagious and will spread around through all of your people. So without even realizing it, you'll become a sort of leader, or at least cheerleader. You make being happy look easy, and there's no reason to let others know that sometimes it's not. This is a cyclical relationship. You make them happy, they make you happy. And I've got to say, Matt, you make every single day better when you come on Seahawk Talk. And like you said, we want to have competition, but I think everyone will be better when we can all be in person with you again.
Well, thank you. I couldn't quite feel anything bubbling up when I was raking leaves this afternoon. But maybe I wasn't looking hard enough.
So there you go. Matt, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I know you're trying to travel, waiting for that COVID test, and then you're hitting the road.
Came back negative, so we're rolling.
Woo! Matt Hurd, update. Matt Hurd is a Pisces. Matt Hurd is also COVID negative.
Yes.
So, Matt, safe travels. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you again next week.
You too, Andrew. Thanks very much.
All right. That's Matt Hurd, the equipment manager and head women's track and field coach here at Salve Regina. We're going to take a very short break and be right back with the producers of Seahawk Talk to wrap up today's show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Pizzelli. Want to bring in now the producers, Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco. Hello, Joey.
No, muted. Hey, I'm here. Man, traffic, huh? 20-minute trip turns into like 45.
That's because you live in Connecticut. That's what you get.
Yeah, that's what I get. That's what I get for getting a haircut.
Fellas, I want to get your thoughts first on anything our guests had to say here today.
I wouldn't think Matt Hurd's that into astrology, but I think that should be our next conversation piece with him. I don't see it, but we should dig more into that because
You don't think Matt's
I
sitting
find
there
that,
plotting out his natal chart, reading the stars, you know?
yeah. If anyone missed it, Matt Hurd, maybe that's he just likes looking up at the stars. He's a dreamer. He's a dreamer more than he's into astrology. So
Yes.
no, I like that, and we also had our 3 trainers on the show we've never had, so that was awesome. I haven't seen Emily in a little while.
Yeah.
No longer in the gym as much as I used to be. So but no, that was great too. So great show today, I think.
Yeah, there was. Oh, I know. Well, there was one thing I just put out. At one point, instead of saying Bill Villarreal, you called him Billareal.
Did I really?
So, yeah, which I thought was funny, but no, I really resonated with what Coach Hurd said about not seeing people's faces and like knowing what people's faces look like, because we had that happen in theater.
It's happening right now, Joey. I can't see your face.
I know. I'm resetting it to see if it'll stop being weird. Where we didn't like the freshmen, like we straight up didn't know what they looked like, and we realized that, and we're like, because she was like one of the freshmen was like eating food, and we were like, we've never seen your face before. And so then we had like a little thing where we had everyone go up on the stage so they were away from people and then like take off their masks dramatically in typical like extra theater way, which is pretty funny. But yeah, like there were like some like freshmen who and that's like such a mood. Like people come up, like people would say hi to me this year and be like, I have no idea who that is. So I'm like, hey. I was like, oh, who was that? My friend would be like, who was it? I'm like, I don't know. I thought you knew. Like,
yeah.
They had to act like dramatic when they were taking the mask off, and then you had to act shocked when you saw their when you saw their face. It was a practice. It was practice.
It was
team building.
Yeah.
Joey, without you on the program earlier, Michael had to do some detective work for us because we wanted to know the median age of a TikTok user.
Oh, that's what that meant.
Yeah, you see a banner in there that was a little different. So we did find this out right here. If you want to see that off the bottom, 60% of at least in the U.S. TikTok users are between 16 and 24. I thought they're a little bit younger, but no,
that's still in that age range. You're just not hip. You're just not cool, Mike. That's what
I'm not in it. I'm not.
Where the conversation came from. You're just not on TikTok, Mike.
Because I don't even know how we got into TikTok, and then I was like, I'm not really even on it. So but then we were like, we need Joey. We need Joey here to give us the breakdown, because I was talking about how there's more than just dancing. There's more than just dancing at TikTok.
No, there's like other stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
And then like which TikTok you are like isn't like you're on is important. Like I'm in D&D TikTok at this point, and then there's a variety. Are you talking about, is that what you're doing for DHL's class, or is that just something that came up somehow?
We were talking about things you could do virtually for Thanksgiving, and one of them was, about getting the family together and doing charades or a challenge, and how like you could do some TikTok-esque things like virtually with each other, getting everybody to participate in something. And so I asked Mike if that's something him and his family would be doing. He's like, yeah, I'm not really a big TikTok person. And I said, what? I said, come on, you're right in that age range. And so he is. Mike is. It's fine that I'm not on TikTok, because I'll admit I'm now outside that age bracket. I don't like to always admit it. I think in this one instance I'm okay admitting it.
But you are not outside this one. The next stat: 50% of TikTok users in the U.S. are aged 18 to 34. With a nearly even split between 18, 24-year-olds and 25 to 34-year-olds.
That would mean, if we do the math then, from 24 to 34, that's 10% of TikTok users. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's how I can do the math, but
we're not going to work too hard to do math on this program. That is not
we're not.
None of us are good at math here, so
yeah. I can add by ones, 2s, 3s, 6s, and 7s. That's the only way you can score in sports. Occasionally an 8.
I was great at sevens. I was great at times tables when it came to sevens. I think I finished first in 5th grade on that one.
Yeah, just from being a football fan. Well, fellas, great work here today. Joey, glad you could make it. Eventually battling not only literally battling time and space to get here.
I hate traffic. I was even driving, and it's like,
again, it's what happens when you live in Connecticut.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, fellas, great work. We'll catch you again tomorrow. No Seahawk talk on Thursday or Friday this week for the holiday. So tomorrow will be our last show before the break, and we will have Craig O'Rourke II jumping in at 3:30. Usually he's on Thursdays. He's coming back to Wednesdays, so we can get a little bit of CO2 before
He's
we
gonna
head
have to give
Thanksgiving.
us the pineapple upside down cake recipe so that everyone can make it for Thanksgiving.
Ooh, true. So, all right, fellas, I'll let you guys go, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
All
All right.
All right, that's Joey Morelli and Mike DeFusco, the producers here on Seahawk Talk. I want to thank our guests here today. Once again, we had Emily Miller, Rebecca Ramirez McKinley, Janelle Iquinto, Bill Villarreal, and Matt Hurd. We are live every single day, 3 to 4 p.m. on the Salve Athletics Network. That is Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. You can like, follow, and subscribe on all of those channels to catch the show. Go back and rewatch any past episode of the show. You can also subscribe to the Seahawk Talk podcast through Sounder FM or wherever you get your podcasts from. That'll do it for today. I'm Andy Pizzelli. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.